and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. So hello there, beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to this very short, but I feel again is a very important Ascension update for all of us here. So I'm holding this beautiful twin Lemurian seed quartz crystal, and it's been with me since last week, and ever since last week, and these new energy waves that have been coming in like constant upgrades, it felt like wave after wave hitting us. It was truly deeply intense. And ever since then, I felt like within myself, I've noticed a very beautiful shift into more cosmic consciousness, into this bigger perspective, and it's almost like the path expanded outwards. And I've addressed some of these things in my recent videos, especially the recent Galactic update. But in this video, I really want to talk about, shush, I want to talk about how this affects us physically, because after all, Ascension is a physical process, and gradual upliftment of the embodiment we're all experiencing. So what happens is that each gradual wave of energy after the other is like a continual buildup of the new, it's like a new grid system within our bodies. The first thing that we feel usually is the expansion, and yet it also feels like the upgrade of our nervous system. So as you know, and you don't have to be in knowledge of anatomy or the human body, it's just an automatic cosmic awareness once you shift into your awakened self. It's just like an intrinsic inner knowing that you have of your body, and the composition of the body, the structure of the body, and the purpose of the body, and how it translates the energy of this new light. So when this energy and they hit, right, and when you're awakened and you're fully integrating being, so you're not closed off and your cosmic heart center is fully open. So when the energy starts pouring through, no matter how upgraded you're here, you know, you come in with the DNA, was meaning that new volunteer souls, many of them, especially the new waves, come completely wired and prepared, you know, for this new creatrix system, so this new body template. But yeah, we still feel these changes, we still feel those surges of energy, and those of us who are here mostly as antennas, a lot of that was discussed through Dolores Cannon's work, through her books, and knowledge that was pouring through about volunteer souls, the first three waves, the first wave, the second wave, the three waves, right? And the second wave, a lot of us is here to just be the embodiment for the energy. We've kind of like translators of energy. We kind of like, we're big vortices of energies ourselves. And then we put that, it's like we direct the energy where to go. And when this happens is that we usually first hit the nervous system, because what's happening now with the majority of the people who are experiencing this new upliftment and this dimensional upliftment and upsurge of energy is when this hits the body, the nervous system will get a little, it's almost like there's a bit of the, you know, it's like a shock wave first, right? So what happens is your nervous system will start to translate energy more and more in a new way. So instead of this old template, which was still kind of like feeding through this linear circulatory motion, it's now becoming more and more spiral. So there's what I'm receiving today. I meditated before I recorded this video. I was just lying here down on the beach with the sun, staring at the sun, you know, eyes closed, really deeply activating what to bring through today as this cosmic activation point. And I was shown that it's a very interesting meditation we can do. Is, you know, I talk a lot about the pulse of light, the pulse of life, the origin, the vortex of the birthing of all life through the cosmic galactic center, right? And you can attune yourself with that very simply, very easily. And when you rest in that Galactic Pulse of Life, and I developed also a beautiful mastery course called the Tantrika Life Force Mastery, which is over 6 hours long. It gives you everything from the physical standpoint to the breath work, because with the breath we're now helping to direct this energy flow in our bodies. The more conscious we get with it, the more we can uplift our consciousness, right? So the more cosmic memory we're going to have, the more expanded our galactic consciousness will become. So instead of functioning in a linear fashion or only 3D based or perception with karma, relationships, dealing with your personal life, you're going to get more and more extra dimensional, interpersonal in a new way, and more turning into this from linear to cyclical, spiraling to the spiraling consciousness. So this meditation it's almost like you imagine yourself being attuned to this pulse of light. I showed you this galactic being sketch. These are cosmic drawings that I started to channel since this new wave hit, and it was my own first notice of my own observation is that when these waves started coming in, it was huge cosmic rays. Even people reporting on YouTube and many videos that the level of cosmic rays really increased, gradual but huge increase. Even with the Schumann resonance, people who are observing that, who are taking note, it increased exponentially as well. There are certain times when this hits, it's like a big hit, and then we need to stabilize that energy. It will be most intense, and that's when our bodies will feel it to the amount of feeling shaky, depleted of energy, tired. You know, we're gonna have fatigue for a while. It's just temporary. Or digestive issues. A lot of us have that because it's all coming from the readjustment of our nervous system, which is now susceptible to the light in any way, right? So when we channel this energy, this has to go into every cell. And this recalibration that was recently so en masse, so vast, is literally going in the deepest core of our cellular memory and beyond. Because you know, when even the scientists are researching what's beneath the atom, and they're figuring out the tinier and tinier structures that exist beyond that. So it gets to the levels that we can comprehend, to this what I call the grand design, which is written in every particle of life. It's like the fractal consciousness, where the sum totality of all is written in every tiny particle, right? Every spectacle of life. So when this happens, is these doorways, these little codes of light will be sparked up within you. So this memory will trigger you perhaps to have memories, sometimes coming through dreams. Sometimes you're going to be activated, a new soul gift will reemerge. You're tuning into these vaster multidimensional parts of you. And like Dolores says, right, the knowledge is always expanding from the vantage point of where we're perceiving, because this consciousness perceives, and it creates outwardly these waves that then return back from source. It's like the knowledge that was gathered for so many eons, it feels like it's culminating now, and it's coming back to us for the reusage, for the final usage of what will we need to shift, right? To shift as a personal, level, and then to the collective levels, to reach that mass point of consciousness. So with this activation, for me personally, I've observed, right? I started channeling these cosmic drawings. I'm like, wow, that's going to be part of my book on the grand design and mission of volunteer souls. And perhaps you're going to start noticing this yourself. But what we need, as I was shown, we need lots of rest. We need lots of tending to the body at this time. The body has experienced so much. And I know a lot of people see this just as consciousness, but it's so important what we're doing with the bodies, because what's happening is taking the bodies to the levels of extremity of what they can receive and translate through that we haven't experienced before. And you probably noticed this yourself. So what happened is, the whole week, last week, was probably one of the most intense weeks we've ever experienced. I was like jaw dropping, I was stricken and taken aback so many times, and I couldn't believe so much energy can come through, and I needed to be so much with this to integrate. And at the same time, I was still doing a lot. I was channeling these drawings. I was drawing all the time, constantly. It was just, I needed to be with that. So what I was shown is, it's so important to tend to the bodies and the way that it helps our nervous system. And those of you who still feel you have these things coming up to the surface, you haven't done your personal healing, which is this lifetime related, or people say lifetimes, past lifetimes are not important anymore. That's true, because that's synthesizing, that's completing for so many souls who are now ready for this ascension and the new earth frequency, and embody that as their conscious soul embodiment. And you will feel that completion of healing, because your emotional system will be not reactive anymore. You're going to feel grounded, safe. You're going to feel your mission expanded, and that's usually when you're going to be shown your mission at the greatest level. even I've been listening to one of the Dolores conferences again just yesterday. I didn't do that in a very long time. I said, what the heck, I'm gonna give it a go. And she was addressing this, you know, that people are always asking, what's my purpose, what's my mission, and they're not always shown. And the super conscious part, this higher self part of us, will not show us when it's not time yet. And people are getting so into that, and it's just a gradual shift. Again, it will be shown when it's necessary for you to know. A lot of the path that people were involved in was just completing this cycle of reincarnation, and that took a while, and we needed to be patient with that. A lot of people needed that. Whereas the volunteer souls who came here, we also, in a way, although we weren't participating in the recycling of energy in this earthly reincarnation, but we were a part of it through soul imprints. And I've talked about this as well, because we've taken on these imprints to help generate waves of this healing, so that it becomes more collectively available, like a pool, right? A gene pool of energy, a pool of these waves that go out and spread out, so that a healing would be easier for the majority of souls who are now ascending. So that's what we were doing. So basically we were all doing the same thing with different facets of our soul orientation, if you can get me what I'm saying. But now with this new nervous system upgrade, I'm shown that the majority of it comes through this, right? What I talk about, the unification of this polarization that got with many people so extreme within the diversions, right? Left, right, masculine, feminine. And I've just recently made this channeling, this drawing of cosmic union, and it came through this brain, right? Emphasis within two beings who are within the rainbow spiral of the DNA, and they're seeding that, and that's coming always from the origin of the cosmic center of divine love, which is source of all love, of all life. And this left right brain hemisphere, that's such an important upgrade. And this is where all these nervous systems, they come through the body and our spine. So basically we've perceived our brain and the heart fragmented, and it's kind of like separate for so long. And if you look at the fetus, the brain, the heart are one at the beginning. Then they kind of, you know, each goes into its own section of the body, but it's still a unified process. When we learn to merge that, and there's a lot of exercises we can do, but the most important part is what I'm shown is when we learn to balance that in a natural way. With the breath work, what we're doing is we're channeling the energy, we're directing it to go through our body. So one of the best things when you can do when your nervous system is so shocked, and the shaking, right? We feel shaking when the energy comes. We start to shake, or I feel kind of like this, my whole body is in, it's not physical pain, but you feel like, it's like you're in this energy wave, and it's nothing you can do, right? And it just swallows you up, and you're in it. So the best thing we can do at that time is breathe and allow the energy. We're imagining it's kind of like it's moving through our nervous system. Imagine your body is wired, right? It has these meridians of light, and everything's traveling, and you're just feeling that. And it's like you're sending light from the core, right? And it's pulsating, and you're directing it through your entire body. And in the Tantrika Life Force Mastery course, you can learn how to cultivate that light before you can learn to send it through your body. So the true proper cultivation, which is from your root to the top, to the crown and beyond, to the galactic levels, so you can expand your consciousness with the Cosmic Pulse of Light Mastery as well, which is 1 hour bonus video included. Great knowledge there shared. So when you do that, when you tend to the nervous system, you start to create this allowance space, because this change that's happening in the majority of people's bodies now, it's something never happened before in a way. So it's still new to many people, and they don't always know how to approach that, and they'll just be there like saying how the energy is intense. And we can do so much about this, right? We need lots of time to be with the body at this time. So the nervous system, right? I have to share an experience with you as well. Yesterday I did this. I performed a little what I call a light massage on my mother. She's always been having issues. Her heart was so open and pure and full of love, but her brain center wasn't fully aligned. So it was like her masculine side wasn't that developed, right? So I recently gave her many exercises she can do with the left right brain hemisphere, the flow of energy there circling through, Very important. She's been noticing some changes since. These changes can often mean as well that first you're gonna maybe notice the increased signs, like it's worsening because the things you've suppressed, the things you haven't addressed. And for her, all her life, she was kind of like running away from those higher aspects of herself. She didn't want to see, right? She didn't want to fully acknowledge it. So that's what happens then. So yesterday, as a part of my gift, I said, I'm going to give you this massage for your birthday, because she had her birthday last week. And I said, let's do it. And it was like a culmination of everything, the whole energy. And what happened is I was just massaging her, and I get to this part with the skull, with the brain. The moment I placed my fingers like this on her, right, it was like this, you know. I hear this beeping sound in my right ear. It was like a telecommunication transfer. I was like, what is this, right? At first I thought it's just an energy it's sending through her, but usually this is an information from, it's almost like your alternate selves that have this knowledge. And I'm very much an ET myself, you know. I come from far away when we talk about in relation to distance. It's not really like a distance in physical, but in consciousness. And I didn't know, all of a sudden my hand started to move in a funny way, and I started pressing these points, and I started creating this shaky movement to stimulate the nerves, right? Because the skull is so full of, it's wired and wired through. It's not just because we have this hard coating around it right now. It's okay, now it's hard. When I'm doing this, I'm massaging it. I'm not stimulating anything. It's all within. The brain is within that skull, right, which is hard. But in truth, it's still so sensory. It's so sensitive. It's highly sensitive. And I started just doing these movements and presses, and I could literally see her shift right there on the table. She started laughing. She started feeling so good. I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't know. I just followed the movements, because everything I've done all my life was, I wasn't in mental capacity. I didn't learn it. It was all so pure. And I asked her, how was the massage? She said, best thing ever. She said, how do you know these things? I'm like, well, my bigger selves know it. I just always had automatic downloads of that. I never learned things, and I feel the capacity for the human and the knowledge is we need to bypass those things, which is, okay, you know, even when they teach people how to massage, and it's this classical massage, 1, 2, 3, these levels, that's so old. It's still so linear. People have to awaken this galactic memory, so they're going to bring this conscious memory of these higher aspects of us that already exist, because all time is simultaneous and it's all existing now time. What you do is you bring through this information that exists. You might not be aware of why you're doing it, how you're doing it. You don't have to have the knowledge. That's why for a lot of us who are here as volunteer souls, we forgot this knowledge, which is human anatomy, this and that, because it's almost like we have a higher knowledge of that, and that would limit us in a way. So a lot of us did not go through. When I was in school, I forgot most of the things I learned, and I was so good at learning, and then I forgot. I'm like, why am I forgetting? It was so funny. And then later I was shown it's because it's old, it's outdated. What is new comes through this now stimulative time, which is always happening. It's ongoing. It's always now. And what happened is then I did this massage, and I did these movements, and she felt so good. And the next morning, she wakes up, and I ask her, how was it? She's like, I feel like I'm a new person. I feel like I'm reborn. She looked so good and revitalized, and I felt so many of us have these gifts that they still lie dormant. We're not, you know, I'm such a multi-talented person in a way that I'm not a masseuse. I'm not this. I have no labels. I'm nothing as a profession in a way. But when I get to something, it's like I just know how to do it. I do it through this intrinsic awareness that's coming from this pulse of light, and it's the force doing it through me. And I just surrender. I have zero mental abilities that would say, no, you need to do it this way. You have to press here. I don't think. I don't look at points. I don't do anything like that. And the result has always been so good. When I massaged people in the past, which was, you know, on rare occasions, but whenever I did, I felt so much in the energy. I could do it for hours and hours. Then I realized, oh, my body's getting a little tired. But it's always, what I notice is tremendous heat coming out of my hands. And I just know that I have unearthly, which is beyond earth, these healing capacities. But still, why I'm here is I'm not here for just one thing. I'm not here to just, you know, to massage or to do this or to just write or to just sing things. whatever needs to be expressed so that the energy flows where it needs to go. That's the highest expression of our existence, is no labels, pure being, channeling who you are, what you are in each moment, which is that new moment. And that's what I figure to be that natural self, that we all can be, that we all are in a way. So that was truly a beautiful experience. I was shown the importance of kind of like giving the nervous system a boost. Whatever you're going to be guided to do in your own way, just allow yourself to have that experience. Sometimes it's just lying down. Sometimes the body during these intense points won't be guided to have too much exercise. You know, exercise can overstimulate the nervous system, which is already overly stimulated at these times. So I'm very hyper being. I exercise a lot, and at certain times when the energy comes, I just can't. I'm like, why can't I even do this? It's just the body says no, and the body is so intelligent. I mean, the life force coming through the body, the life force is the intelligent part, and then it moves through the body. So that was a quick update. I hope you will take this internally, to embody it, to be with the body, to understand what is the meaning of the nervous system, because it gives all the information into every cell. Oh, and I forgot to say that meditation, right? When you see that pulse of light and it moves, it streams into all of your cells, what you can do is when you have your eyes closed, just imagine that every cell becomes a living representative of the spiral. Like every cell is like a little tiny galaxy within itself, because it has the ability to contain the whole universe is within. It's like tiny little fractals of allness. And there's still so much that's non-researched, but it's coming now. The lost knowledge is returning, and there's a lot of people who are doing diligent work, who were bringing this information through their work of, like Dolores developed her quantum healing, hypnotic regression therapy, and some people did other things. But there's a lot of us here who are volunteer souls who are doing this directly. We're like direct channels for this, and there's no proof, like physical proof, why we do that, why is this like this, but you can see it when you do it. Like yesterday I performed this massage with my mom. It was just a physical massage, it was like a light massage, because the energy was like restructuring itself and moving into these parts, and you can see the results, and that's when you know you're really doing the work, because the work itself proves through the energy that's mirrored back, that's embodied. So thank you for watching. I hope this resonates. You can get the Tantrika Life Course Mastery. It's really superly, highly recommended at this time, because there's never been such a tremendous energetic shift as now, as the spring of 2017. It's been predicted before as well by many beings. It's really happening. We're at the eye of the storm, eye of the needle at this time. And it's beautiful, and yet it's intense for us. So go easy on yourself. Enjoy. You can always support me on my donation page or my channel, Patreon channel, to support the work that I share with you with such devotion. I love you so much. As always, with love, wisdom, and power, I'll talk to you soon. And to be with my creations at this time is very important for me. So I'm going to be with these things that I'm creating on a higher level, not just these videos that are produced for now. So I'll talk to you again soon, whenever. Take care. Bye.